Alright, today we're starting 11.5, and it's all about analyzing data. What we're going to talk about for today, because today is part 1 of 11.5, we're going to talk about measures of central tendency. These are values that are representative of an entire data set. Central measures of tendency, there are 3 values that we look at. We look at the mean, the median, and the mode. Hopefully by now you're semi-aware of what mean, median, and mode are. You've covered it probably in other classes at some point or another. So the mean is often referred to as the average. So that's the average of a set of values. So to find the mean, or as you'll see it called in your homework, it's going to be labeled as this X with a bar over it. This is X bar. And what the average or the mean is it's the sum of all of your data points divided by the total number of data points that you have in your set. Now, the mean will be affected by values that are extremely small or extremely large. And we'll talk more about those values that are extremely small and extremely large on Monday when we go into part 2 of 11.5. The median of your set of data points or data values is the middle data value when the numbers are listed from smallest to largest. So what you're going to want to do when you're given one of these problems is immediately you're going to want to put your set in increasing order from smallest numbers to largest numbers. So you want to order your set. So there's 2 different ways of finding the median depending on how many data values you have. If you have an odd number of data values in your set, the median is going to be the absolute middle position. So whatever number is in the middle of your set. If the number of data points that you have is even, then the median is going to be the mean or the average of the 2 middle values. So the 2 examples below are going to show us this. So in our first example, we need to find the median for this data set. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data points, or data values. So we have an odd number of data values, so we should be able to find the absolute middle position. So the middle of 7, we're going to count in, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and if we have that point, we have 1, 2, 3 on that side. So we have 3 on the side of this 4 and 3 on the side of this, on the right side as well. So this is our absolute middle spot. So our median for our first set is 4. So you're looking for the middle number in your set. For our second example, we have to find the median of this set. Now in this set, we're given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So this time we have an even number of data values. So we have to take the mean of the 2 middle values. So if we're looking at this set, our 2 middle values are this 4 and the 5, because now we have 2 points on, or 2 data values on the left side, 2 data values on the right side. So these are our middle 2 values. So we need to find the mean or the average of these 2 values. So we're going to take 4 plus the 5 and then divide by 2. That's finding the average of those 2 points.
You add them all together, right?
Not for the median.
No, I'm saying for the average, you add them
Yes.
all together and then divide by them.
Yes. So we'll find the median by adding these and dividing. So you're going to get 9 over 2. And when we divide, you get 4.5. So our median for that second example is 4.5. And then the third measure of central tendency that we're going to talk about is the mode. Now the mode is the data value that occurs most frequently or most often. So that's a number that's going to repeat in our set. It's the number that occurs the most number of times throughout our set. So at that first bullet point it says if every value occurs the same number of times, there is no mode. So that means if every data value only occurs once, or if they all occur twice, there is no mode. Now the second bullet point says, if several values occur the same number of times, then they will all be listed. So if you have a number that occurs 3 times, and you have another number that occurs 3 times, and that's the most number of times that a number occurs in your set, they can both be the mode. So you'll have more than one mode. You can have more than one, but not all of your values can be a mode. So example 1 is going to have us find all 3 of these values that we just talked about. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our set is in order, in increasing order, so it starts with the smallest value and goes to our largest value, which it is. It's already in order for us. So the easiest thing to find without having to do too much is to find the mode. So we're looking for the number that occurs most often in our set. So for this set, what's our mode? 7 and 8, because 7 occurs twice and 8 occurs twice. So our mode is 7 and 8. So for this one, we have 2 modes. Now, the next one that we could find that probably would be the easiest would be the median. So now we want to find our middle number. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers. And we want to find the middle number of that 10. And this is an even set. So we should know that we're going to have to average the 2 middle values. So we're not going to have an exact middle spot. So if we're looking at our set, if we look at the 7 and the 8, we have 4 points on this side now and 4 points on this side. So these are our 2 middle values. So we're going to average those 2 middle values to get our median. So we're going to have 7 plus 8, and we're going to divide by 2. So we're going to get 15 over 2, and that equals what?
7.5.
7.5. So our median for our set is 7.5. Now, to find the mean, or the average, we're going to add up all of our data points and divide by our total number of data points, which we said we had 10. So when we add up all of these points, we get 74 is our total when we add those up. And then we have to divide by our total number of data points, which was 10. So we have 74 divided by 10, which gives us 7.4.
How'd you get 74?
Adding up each of these points. So you add 4 plus 5
I
plus
got
6.
76.
Me too.
Oh, sorry. 76, I apologize. So you get 76 divided by 10. So that equals 7.6. So our mean, or our average, is 7.6 for this set. And remember that mean can also be written as X bar. They all mean the same thing, average, mean, X bar. Now, there's a note below here that says the data set above can be described as bimodal because it has two modes. So where this had two modes, we can call it bimodal. It's just a terminology when you have two modes. Now, a frequency table displays the possible outcomes and the frequency of each outcome in a set of data. You can use data in a frequency table to calculate measures of center as well. So rather than being given a set like this, we can be given a set that looks like this. It'll be given to you in a table. So example 2 says that the frequency table shows the number of textbooks in several students' backpacks, or book bags. What are the measures of center for textbooks per student? So we're looking at how many students carry how many different books. So what this table is telling us is we have one student that carries 0 books. We have 6 students that carry 1, 10 that carry 2, 4 that carry 3, and 4 that carry 4. So if we were to write our set out, like we saw it before, we would have 1 that carries 0, 6 that carry 1, ten that carry 2, 4 that carry 3, and 4 that carry 4. So that's what our actual set would look like written out. So it's just a little neater or cleaner to see it in the table rather than writing it out. So now for that information, they want us to find the mean, median, and mode. So again, the easiest number to find is probably the mode. And it's really easy to find looking at the table because you're looking at your number of students that carry this number of books. So the highest occurring number is 2 because it happens 10 times. So our mode would be 2. Our median, we need to find our middle number. So we have 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 10 is 17, plus 4 is 21, plus 4 is 25. So we have 25 data points in our set. So we need to find the middle number of that 25. That's an odd number of values, so we know we're going to have an exact middle spot. So looking at our points, if we have 25 points and we divide that in half, you get 12.5. So we should be in the 13th spot, would be our middle spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this is our middle spot. Do we have the same number of points on each side? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. On the other side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have the same number of points on the left as we do on the right. So this 2 is our median. Now to find our mean. If we wrote out our data set like this, we could just add them all up and divide. Or we can use the table. And we're going to multiply. We have 1 student that carries 0 books, plus the 6 students that carry the 1 book, plus the 10 students that carry 2 books, plus the 4 students that carry 3, plus the 4 students that carry 4 books. And we're multiplying, because if we look at our set, 1 times 0 is 0, but we have our 1 student that carries 0 books, our 6 students that carry 1, our 10 that carry 2, our 4 that carry 3, and our 4 that carry 4. So we're going to add all of those, multiply and add those up, and we're going to divide by our total was 25 data points. So when we multiply, add, and divide by 25, we get 2.16.
How'd you get from 25?
Because we have 25 total points in our set.
Oh,
That was our total number of students.
okay.
So you should get a mean or an average of 2.16. Are there any questions about mean, median, and mode? Like I say, you guys should be fairly familiar with these 3. The next thing that we're going to talk about that kind of deals with those 3 numbers is we're going to learn how to create a box and whisker plot. Now what a box and whisker plot does is it displays how data values are distributed. So given a set, how are your values in that set distributed? It displays the minimum and maximum values, the median of the entire set, and the first and third quartiles, which I will show you how you find those. These 5 values are often referred to as the 5-number summary. So this is what a box and whisker plot looks like. You have your first quartile, your median, your third quartile that make up the box. And then you have your minimum value and your maximum value, which make your whiskers. We graph this above a number line so that we can draw the box and whiskers so that you can see them clearly. So example 3, we're going to actually create a box and whisker plot with the following data set. So as before, you want to make sure that your data set is in increasing value. So you have your lowest number and you go to your greatest number. So our lowest number in this set, we have a 3. And then we have a 4. We have a 5, 6. We have a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, an 11, and a 12. So that's our set in increasing order. We start with our lowest number and we go to our highest number. Now, to find our 5-number summary for this data set, number 1 says it wants to know what our minimum data value is. So our minimum is our smallest data value. So our smallest data value for this set is our 3. Number 2, what is the maximum data value? So that would be our highest data value. So that's the 12. Number 3, it wants us to find the median of the entire data set. So like we did before, we're just finding the median of this set. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points, or values. So we have to find the middle 2 values because this is an even set. So we're going to have to average our 2 middle numbers. So we need to find our 2 middle numbers.
Would it just be 7.5?
So our 2 middle numbers are 7 and 8 because now we have 4 values on that side and 4 values on that side, so these are our two middle numbers. So to find that median, it's 7 plus 8 divided by 2. And that again gives you 7.5, like we did earlier. So this median for the entire data set is called your Q2 value. So our Q2 value is 7.5. That's the median of the entire set. Now, number 4 says to look at just the data items to the left of the median. And we need to find the median of those items. So we're looking for number 4 at the items that are to the left of the median. Well, our median we just found was 7.5. So our median is somewhere is right in the middle of that 7 and the 8. So the items to the left of the median are going to be those 5 values. The 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So for number 4, we need to find the median of those 5 values. And that's what our Q1, or our first quartile value is. So we need to find the median of 5 items. So that's going to be the 5, because we have 2 items to the left, 2 items to the right. So 5 is our middle number for number 4. So Q1 is going to equal 5. That's where our first quartile value is. Number 5 wants us to look at the data items to the right of the median. And we need to find the median for those items. And that's going to be our Q3 value, or our third quartile value. So this time, again, our median is here in between the 7 and 8. So now we're going to be looking at the 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So those 5 values. And we need to find the median of those 5 values. So again, we have 5 numbers, so we're looking for just the middle number, the exact middle number. And in this case, it's the 10, because we have 2 items to the left, 2 items to the right. So our Q3 value is 10. So again, Q2 is the median of the entire set. Q1 is the median of the left side of the set. Q3 is the median of the right side of the set. So now we're actually going to draw our box and whisker plot on the line that's provided for you at the bottom of the page. So this is going to be our number line. So our number line, we can start at 0 and then we'll go up because we're going to 12. So we're just going to kind of draw in our number line. So if we start at 0, 1, 2, and continue counting on the number line. So that you'll get a number line, something like that. And your number line will look different depending on your set. Your number line is going to focus around where your set is. So as long as you're a couple numbers, your number line goes a couple numbers past your lowest point and a couple numbers past your greatest point, your box and whisker plot will be right on your number line then. So for this one now, we need to plot our 5 points that we found. So our minimum was at 3, and we're going to want to plot these above the number line so that we can draw the box and whiskers so that we can see them really well. So our minimum was at 3. Our maximum was at 12. Our Q2 value, or our median of the entire set, is at 7.5. So right in the middle of 7 and 8. Our Q1 value, or our first quartile value, was at 5. And our Q3 value, or our third quartile value, was at 10. So those are our 5 points that we found, and we plotted them on our number line. So now to make the box and whisker plot, at your Q1, Q2, and Q3, so at our first quartile, our second quartile, or our median, and our third quartile, we're going to draw vertical lines at all the Q values. And then we're going to connect them and make a box. So that's the box part of our box and whisker. So you should have a line where your actual median is. You should have a line at your first quartile and a line at your third quartile. Now, the whiskers, you're going to take and connect your minimum value to your first quartile spot, just by drawing a line. And then your other whisker, you're going to connect your third quartile with your maximum value. And that's what your box and whisker plot should look like for example 3. The last page, front and back, is your homework. And the first page is just finding the mean, median, and mode for those sets. And then the back page is finding the 5-number summary for 2 examples and drawing the corresponding box and whisker plot.